Okay, France is invading Bengal, and these are the Bengalese defenders. Got 3 cow cavalry, a heavy cav, and a bunch of native infantry. And here's the French attacking army. They got 1 cloud cav, sepoys, native infantry. Here's some King's troops and company troops is there as well. All right, here's movement at the end of turn 1. There is no artillery or small arms fire, so we're going to move straight into turn 2. All right, movement after turn 2. Moving on to turn 3, basically just the French just advanced and they swung out that way. So, all right, end of movement, turn 3. Looks like the French kind of stabilized their line, and the English cavalry is advancing precipitously. All right. End of movement, turn 3. Artillery fire. We do have, this is rocket artillery. It's going to try to attempt to fire at that target. Total distance of. So the rocket is going to move 12 inches. Neil, go ahead and roll that blue dice. You've got a misdirection, so it actually goes straight ahead. So it's going to impact 12 inches to its front. Yeah. And that's where the rocket falls. All right, here's the end of movement at the end of the 4th turn, much akin like the movie Braveheart when the Irish are charging the Scottish, where the 2 armies just get up right next to each other and then they start shaking hands. We kind of have that same deal going here, except the regulars did kind of move a little bit, but that's about it. Turn 4 artillery, the rocket artillery is going to shoot towards that unit there. Gets a total of 15 inches, so they get a little bit better. So and that medium gun is going to fire that cavalry unit. Damn it, you gotta wait till I say go. But okay, how many?
11. Missed
it. Just missed.
Cav brigade charging forward.
All right, so we're on to turn 5, and the cavalry is charging forward. France, did you have any charges?
So everything's advancing?
Yeah.
Well, then I might as well charge here.
All right, so the cavalry gets the impetus since they declared it first. Okay, so...
We haven't even got into the normal movement.
No, we haven't even gotten to the normal movement yet.
We still have
So,
charge to do.
charge combat turn 5, or charge move. So,
We still haven't rolled this thing.
cavalry moved up to charge the natives. The natives decided to countercharge back. This cavalry unit charged the artillery. The King's troops and the artillery did some fire on a charge stuff, but the cavalry was supposed to was still able to make contact, although the artillery held. This cavalry unit here charged the line infantry unit, the company troops that were over here. Company troops did their fire, but in the ensuing morale check, fell back disorganized. There was enough movement left for this cavalry unit to continue moving forward, which would have put them in contact with the disorganized unit, causing the disorganized unit to make another morale check for being charged again, which caused them to rout. This cavalry unit failed the pursuit check and had mandatory pursuit, had to chase after that guy, which in turn put him in charge range. Basically, there was that cavalry unit, the French cavalry unit here, also being charged. But in making that morale check, he had to, he failed the morale check. He didn't rout, he just fell back disorganized, but it took him off the board. So this is where we're at on this flank right now of the French army. All right, end of turn 5 normal movement. The rear rank of the French line shifted, kind of angled that way to help protect its rear and flank, and then French anticipating having to defend against English cavalry, and on the English side, this infantry unit skirted out, and then the armored cav moved up. Next, we're going to move to artillery fire. All right, the rocket artillery fired again. Still kind of trying to shoot at the same unit, but hit about the same spot. All right, into turn 5, melee results. So the two mob infantry actually drove this cavalry unit to rout. But this cavalry unit, or actually it was that one that was attacking the artillery, destroyed the artillery, wiped it out, and then it did a breakthrough into that one, forcing a morale check, causing it to fall back DO'd. This one caused the infantry unit it was in melee with to rout, and it also pursued after. These two are in mandatory pursuit, so at the beginning of next turn they have to make a check to see if they can get back into control or if they keep going off the board.
You go film it first.
All right. Turn 6, mandatory pursuit. These two cavalry units that were over here had to continue pursuing, so they pursued off the board. The unit that was routed continued. Over here, he's not a mandatory pursuit. He is out of command, but he has to make a die roll. Or he was moving, so he's able to continue to move. Opted to continue to charge, which pushes that cavalry unit routing again, so he's going to end up moving forward as well. But after that, there's no other charges, so we're going to move on to normal movement. All right, so we have a little bit of a development. The native troops have a little rule called treachery that basically means that they could change sides. So we figure out how many casualties and how many figures are en route, and then whoever has more, those units have to roll treachery if they get a natural run on the die roll. This unit passed, that unit passed, this unit switched sides.
This one did.
So this is now a French mob unit, and we'll fight for the French. So yeah, there we go. And there we go, we replaced it with Highlanders, which the French are using for their mob units to represent that they have now switched sides. All right, post-movement, that line units moved into line, cavalry kind of reoriented, and then the French army started pushing forward. After so many turns of firing 15 and 16 inches, the rockets decide to fall short this turn after the French infantry already moved up. So that's it for artillery fire. We're going to do small arms fire. All right, the only shooting results we had was this unit fired on that guy, causing him to take a morale check and retreat disorganized. The elephant leader was also within range. The leader itself took a casualty, was carried from the field, but the elephant didn't rampage, which we were kind of hoping to see a rampaging elephant. That would have been pretty sweet. Also, this unit that switched sides tried to take a shot at the rockets, but missed. All right, turn, I think 7, post-charge. This treacherous unit tried to charge the rockets, but failed. Then this cavalry unit charged the mob unit that was there, caused them to break and run. Continued to pursue after him, was gonna hit him again, so it caused them to do another automatically route because they're already broken. So that's where they're into that. So now we're doing normal movement. All right, we got this convoluted mess after normal movement. French infantry just kind of moved up. The traitors kind of moved back. That's about it. All right, we had these guys try to take a shot at there and miss. These guys try to take a shot there and miss, and the miss. But there's no melee, so we're moving on to the next turn. All right, so we had an interesting development this turn. So rallying, we got through that. Then we got to charge. This unit charged the cavalry unit. The cavalry unit also wanted to charge that unit, but it didn't make it. And so this unit caused that unit to rout, but because of the rout, it caused an elephant rampage, which caused that unit to rout and the treacherous unit to fall back broken. And then this unit broke through, charged that unit, and that unit fell back disordered. So, yeah, that happened. All right, end of movement of, I think, I forgot what turn number we're on, but these guys unlimbered, and then the French just advanced. That's pretty much it. So now there will be a handful of shooting, and then we'll move on. I actually got a rocket hit on that unit right there. It doesn't cause any casualties, it just causes a morale check. But he passes the morale check. All right, the next turn movement, basically all we had was just the French continuing their plod forward. All right, the only rocket for artillery fire was the rockets. This time they actually pretty much shot where they got before, so no effect. All right, this is the end of the turn. We had one try to small arms fire there, but he didn't get it. So now we're gonna move on to the next turn, which I think we're somewhere like around 9 or something. I don't know. All right, end of movement. French moved up. The English trying to withdraw, and these units kind of traded musket fire. But now we're going to do casualty counts, and I think we're looking at some army withdrawal stuff. All right, end of movement and shooting. The only shooting we had was this artillery piece firing at that guy, and we also had this guy shoot there too, but he didn't get anything. So no hits across. There's no melee, so now we've got some arm withdrawal checks. All right, the English have enough to get 3.5 dice for army withdraw. They had 2 for friendly units off the field, 1 for 30%. They actually had 2 half dice for leaders that left the field or died, but then they get 1 half die back because the French had a leader leave the field. And so this only counts if it rolls a 1, 2, or 3, but if we need to get a 12 or more, oh shit, actually, it technically goes on for another round. Okay, next round. All right, we fast-tracked the next turn. There were some casualties caused. There was a quick melee here. He did not rout, though, but we're still at the same number of dice for the next army withdrawal. Jesus, criminy. All right, looking at doing some cleanup casualties. This is the unit that mutinied and went over to the French side, so he is not included in the English numbers. But in total, the English lost 40 castings. Of that 40, 32 were SP castings. So they lost at least 2. They have 8 castings remaining. With poor medical, it's a -2 to the die roll, so they need to get essentially an 11 or a 12 to not have 3 SP castings. Yeah, so the English lose 3 SP total. All right, the French in total, including the other 2, the other unit that mutinied over, lost 25 casualties. Of those, 17 are SP casualties, so they lost 1 SP for sure. They've got a remainder of 5, so with poor medical, 7 or less causes it to be 2 SP. That would be 2 SP lost for the French. Hey everyone, one final last update for this video. So I didn't say what happened strategically. So strategically, since England didn't have anywhere to retreat to, the remaining SP, colonial SP that were located there surrender. France captures the territory, and then they also have, I don't have the math right in front of me, but with the remaining English SP and casualties. An astute viewer might also notice that I made a mistake during the army building of the roster and the army set out. They also should have had 2 militia units. And I contemplated redoing the entire battle in total, but talking it over with the other players, and specifically the British player, he was of the opinion, in the grand scheme of things, it actually probably wouldn't have changed much, especially it wouldn't have changed how he did any setup or how he maneuvered his troops around. So, yeah, it was a mistake on my part, but in total, especially since those were just militia SP and they don't actually affect the campaign, the effect of like how many figures are on the campaign board. Everybody, French and English and myself, player, I should say the miniature player, not the campaign player, because they are 2 separate entities. We decided that it wasn't worth refighting the entire battle all over again and just going with the results as they were, and I'll just have to be a little bit more thorough and careful the next time we do something like this. But anyways, so that's the end of the battle. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.